If we need one, I guess I probably could.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's just alternate. You only have to show up if Sam can't make it,
There we
right?
go.
And Sam will never, he'll always make it.
I don't know about you guys, man. I watched the football this weekend. The Jets are feeling pretty good about Aaron Rodgers, and now they got their alternate, so.
Yeah?
They did pretty good, though, didn't they?
Ready to go?
That is true, actually. That maybe worked out for the best.
All right. Okay, call tonight's meeting to order for September 13th, 2023. Mr. Metz, please call the roll.
Sam Cornwall.
Here.
Roger Daniel.
Here.
Greg Emmerich. Will Parsons.
Here.
Paul Nenny.
Here.
Todd Moore.
Here.
John Langhorn.
Here.
You have quorum.
Okay. Let's join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, that brings us to our meeting minutes from August the 9th. Any corrections or revisions before I ask for a motion? None?
I'll move to approve them.
Okay.
Second.
John Langhorn.
Yes.
Todd Moore.
Yes.
Paul Nenny.
Yes.
Will Parsons.
Yes.
Roger Daniel.
Yes.
And Sam Cornwall. Okay.
Okay. So this brings us now to the question about the Architectural Review Board. Do we have a motion, or do we have a person we'd like to recommend for the Architectural Review Board and an alternate?
I move Sam Cornwall be appointed as the representative
Okay.
to the Architectural Review Board,
And an alternate?
and Will Parsons be the alternate. Second.
All right. Sam Cornwall, do you accept? Yes. All right. And Will Parsons, do you accept?
Yes.
Okay. Sam Cornwall? Yes. Roger Daniel?
Yes.
Will Parsons?
Yes.
Paul Nenny?
Yes.
Todd Moore?
Yes.
And John Langhorn?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that brings us to tonight's public hearing, final development plan. Before we get started, you swear in, Mr. Mills. You swear the testimony you're about to give the board is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do. So tonight before us, we have a request by applicant Philip Brandon for approval of a final development plan to construct 20 single-family homes at 2701 Central Avenue. Property is approximately 6 acres. Project has received approval by City Council for the plan development
Oh, sorry about that.
and map amendment. Yep. So the subject property is currently zoned R3 Medium Density Residential District. It is located here with the red star, just north of the Highlands Historic District. As previously mentioned, the applicant proposes 20 single-family homes at 2701 Central Avenue that are built to suit with lot widths ranging from 50 feet to 95 feet. Property is approximately 6 acres. This will be done as a planned development. The comprehensive plan land use map designates this property as a special interest area. There are 8 special interest areas that require more in-depth land use recommendations. These areas are addressed individually in the development opportunities chapters of this plan. So the special interest area was the Central Avenue corridor. You can see it at the very end of the corridor here on this property. The special interest area also includes residential. As previously seen in our May meeting of this year, the same exact site plan, detention, open space, and walking path has not changed since then. Still has the 4 houses on Central Avenue, facing Central Avenue, and the remainders of the homes in the cul-de-sac facing inwards. This is a slide I stole from his previous presentation, from Mr. Brandon's previous presentation, including the different style of homes that Mr. Brandon looked at when developing the homes and choosing the homes for this specific neighborhood. Includes the craftsman style, the traditional style, and the bungalow Cape Cod style. I'll let him speak to that a little bit more later if you'd like to, if you guys would like him to. In addition to what was previously shown, I just kind of want to go through each of the homes that were submitted just to give you an idea of what could possibly be added there. Just to let you know, all homes will have to go through the Architectural Review Board before being approved. So here we have the Bristol, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom. This would be on the exterior lot only, I believe. Here are the floor plans. These were included in the staff packet as well. If you want me to slow down at any point in time, just let me know. So in addition to all the work that was done through the Planning Commission and then also City Council, I wanted to highlight that the Preserve at Roosevelt Ridge with Mr. Brandon, he did 2 community open houses. He did one in the Carlisle, was Wednesday, May 17th from 3 to 6 p.m. at that particular address. And then there was another one on Wednesday, June 14th. These were both since our Planning Commission meeting when we first met back in May. Since then, he's done 2 community open houses. I just kind of wanted to highlight and recognize that community awareness and participation has been very active in this process for Brennan Homes. For other department comments, the City Engineering Department, the construction plans need to comply with the engineering manual of design, including grading, stormwater, utilities, erosion control, traffic, etc. And the following criteria shall serve as conditions that should generally be satisfied before the approval of a plan development, final development plan. Appropriate arrangements with the applicant that have been made which will ensure the reservation of common green space as indicated on the preliminary development plan and final development plan. Appropriate agreements with the applicant have been made to ensure the proper completion of public improvements in compliance with Chapter 1222 subdivision. The proposed final development plan for individual sections of the overall PD is consistent in contents, building location, land uses, densities and intensities, yard requirements, and the area and frontage requirements with the approved preliminary development plan. The minimum common green space areas have been designated and shall duly transferred to the legal established homeowners, property owners, or condominium association, or has been dedicated to the city or other public or quasi-public agency. Each individual phase of the development can exist as an independent unit that is capable of creating an environment of sustained desirability and stability, or that adequate assurance will be provided that such objective can be attained. That any part of the planned development not used for structures, parking, or loading areas or streets shall be landscaped or otherwise improved, or if approved by the Planning Commission, left in its natural state. That any exception from the design standards provided in the preliminary development plan is warranted by the design and amenities incorporated in the detailed final development plan, that the internal streets and thoroughfares proposed are suitable and adequate to accommodate the anticipated traffic within and through the development, and the final development plan has been transmitted to all other agencies and departments charged with responsibility of review. Now we can open up the public hearing. That ends my staff report, and I believe the applicant is present.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please come forward.
You don't have to speak if you don't want to.
Good evening. Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record.
Phil Brandon, 1046 Summit Drive.
You swear the testimony you're about to give the board is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So really just wanted to avail myself. I know there's a couple new faces on the board since the last time we spoke. So really this is a culmination of 1.5 years worth of design. You know, we've been very intentional, I should say, in opening this process up to the community, making sure that the community is a part of this design, both from out of the community and also the housing design as well. I have been really pleased with the very warm public reception that we've gotten for the project. And we're really excited that, you know, our team, especially after the last city council meeting, we're moving at the speed of light to make sure that we actually perform. And so some of the updates since us last meeting, all of the soil testing has been completed, all of the boundary survey, topographic studies, hydrologic studies, all of that stuff has been completed. And we're actually looking forward to demonstrating some pretty quick success, and hopefully, should you guys decide and deem that this is approval worthy, actually be able to break ground on one unit this year. That'll be the model home that we'll use while we're actually constructing the proposed road. So super excited about the project, super grateful for folks like yourself who have offered feedback or just engaged in the process in general. And that being said, I'm really happy to answer any questions you guys might have. Much of this looks very familiar. Nothing's really changed other than sharpening some pencils on some things since the last time we gathered here together, but understanding that there are some new faces, just at least wanted to make sure I could avail myself for questions.
What is two price ranges? What is the price range on, I think it's the Central Avenue homes, and then the ones behind it are all pretty much
Great question.
similar square footage?
So
That's the
one of-
question I get asked all the time.
Yeah, and it's a good question. You know, one of the things that we really wanted to do is making sure that we price this community in a way that's sustainable for Middletown. That's realistic for the values around, but also I think we've seen some, I'll say, rather daring price evaluations for some of the developments that have come through that it just won't support, and the sustainability of the community won't be there. And so the interior lots we're offering, you know, square footages as small as 1,800 square feet all the way up to 2,500 square feet on those interior lots that will allow us to get price ranges in the low, the high 200s all the way to the mid 300s. And then for those front-facing central lots, you're going to be looking at mid 300s to upper 400s. Those are price study numbers that we feel incredibly confident about. There's not new construction being offered anywhere at those particular prices, unfortunately, with inflation and everything. So we're thinking that's going to really help us gain some traction in this community, attract people based on price, and then what we're offering just in general around, and I'm sure you read this in the materials, but this is going to be a custom home community. So this is not a cookie cutter community in which you're going to come in and you pick A, B, or C, D model. What we're showing here is a sampling of models. We have 5 designs that have been launched for this particular community in particular. One of them is on Central Avenue. We did an open house. We purposely did that so people could see exactly what they're getting, exactly what we're signing up for. It's on Rosedale. If you guys have curiosities, I'd encourage you guys to drive by at any point you ever want to get in the house. And I'm happy to have our sales team open it up. But really, that was a long-winded way of saying, you know, there's going to be a lot of offerings that are not available in a lot of other communities. So being price competitive with new construction and offering something that is really unique and something that people will feel is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to engage in, I think it's going to be strong. And I think this area is strong too. You know, that with Alameda Circle and some of the historical districts, I think bringing this kind of architectural depth and design into that area is not going to only accentuate it, but it's going to bolster it and kind of serve as an anchor. So we've just been tickled at the process and the reception and really what this is penciled out to be.
Yeah, I like the designs, and you're not trying to pack too many homes in there. And,
Thank you.
For me personally, it looks like a really good project, and that's what
Thank you.
the price range that I thought.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Great.
Last time we had a meeting about this particular project, there was a lot of noise about the compacting of the soil
Yeah.
Are you confident that that's not gonna be an issue?
Yeah, so we're meeting, so we have we've started some early soil testing. We're actually doing the actual digging and excavation tomorrow. So I have, what I'm sure, Mr. Brown and I had subsequent conversations. With that, it's a part of the process. We knew that there was going to be some things with this site that would need remediation from a compaction perspective because it's a former site of a school. But you'll notice, Mr. Metz, could you pull up just the photo of the community? You'll notice even the way that we designed the community was very strategic in nature.
Top one.
This is around the area that the old school used to sit. So what we did purposely is make those lots facing out to Central a lot larger. And so we kind of cut into some of our available lot space in the proposed street, but that allowed us to miss the foundation and only bring 2 foundations in contention with the old structure. So 20 and 5 will be basement lots. And we're expecting on those particular lots to do extended basement heights, like a 9-foot instead of an 8-foot basement, to get further down into what we would consider either original soil. But a lot of that, even with this, it's very commonplace to be able to go through, do soil testing. So we have pits of interest that will be going out. You'll see us out there tomorrow digging and making sure, okay, hey, in these particular sites, we don't have confidence, right? Let's get confidence. Let's see what the soil tests say. So this is a very commonplace arrangement. I also do understand that development is an exercise that is not common to the public. And I think his concerns were well-intended, but just something that's going to be addressed. So I have total confidence that towards the end of this process, we'll have exactly what we need to get compaction.
Thanks.
Of course.
This may be more of a question for James, but the agreements and arrangements that you mentioned as part of the review criteria, have those all been met?
Can you, are you talking about the review criteria, page 2?
Yeah.
Mind if I see this?
Or was that A
The
and
pro-
B?
So a lot of the appropriate agreements placed between myself and Mr. Brandon will have been completed. As you guys know, there is a contract between City Council and Mr. Brandon himself or his company and the purchase or sale of the land. But other appropriate agreements ensuring that the property proper completion of public improvements and comply with Chapter 1222. That'll be an ongoing thing throughout the development when he's working with Public Works. The subsection C is something that we are creating right now. When you do approve this, he will have to adhere to the site plan that was provided. Minimum common green space, that's been covered. Each phase of the development can exist as independent units. They're all single-family homes. Loading
So
areas.
they're either done or you're convinced that they will be done.
Correct, yes.
I was just going to say to Mr. Brandon that this is one of the most concise plans that I've seen come through. Really shows the work that you've done with the folks in the community, and really, I thought you did a good job just thinking out the total plan. So it's a very, very nice development.
I really appreciate that.
Any other questions for Mr. Brandon?
I don't think so. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Well, seeing no one to speak in opposition, we'll close the public hearing. Ask for staff recommendation.
So Planning Commission recommended approval of the preliminary development plan to construct the 20 single-family homes on May 10th, 2023. Following that, City Council recommended approval of the development plan, the zone change and map amendment on July 5th. And the Architecture Review Board will need to review the single-family homes to ensure they comply with the architectural standards detailed in Chapter 1210.03, Architectural Standards for Residential Buildings of the City of Middletown's Development Code.
Okay.
But otherwise, staff recommends approval as well.
We've heard the presentation. Unless there's other questions for Mr. Metz, would someone like to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who was the second?
Second.
Mr. Ling.
Okay. Sam Cornwall?
Yes.
Roger Daniel?
Yes.
Will Parsons?
Yes.
Paul Nenny?
Yes.
Todd Moore?
Yes.
John Langhorn?
Yes.
Congratulations.
And we're on to new and old business. At this current time, I do not have any new or old business. Is there anything that you have for me?
Moves us to adjournment. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We're adjourned.
Feel world. I don't know. Some kind of a monitor.